Good morning, Harry.
Good morning, Ed.
It's happened again.
What's happened again?
We've got an assignment.
From MPB?
Yeah, from MPB.
Well, what does it say?
I don't know.
Should we read it then?
Yeah, probably.
Now.
Okay, yeah, we can do it now. Yeah. Your assignment is to go to the scorching Scottish Highlands. This is a very serious mission with no time for shenanigans. Because you need to photograph mountain hares, ptarmigan, and reindeer. Good luck.
This is Edwin.
And this is Harry.
And we are two unprofessional professional wildlife photographers.
Yes, we've been all over the place in the name of wildlife and adventure. And now MPB are sending us out on assignment. These are the Scottish Highlands, as you can tell from these bagpipes. An inhospitable landscape in winter, this is not a place for the faint-hearted. But we'll give it a go anyway.
Why are we here?
Well, we're here to try and photograph mountain hares.
Oh, cool. Why?
Well, because we're making a film about it.
Oh, yeah. But it's really windy today, and the wind's going this way. So if I was a hare, I'd be hunkered down out of the wind like this.
All we're really doing is looking for a little white ball of fluff, because all the hares will still be in their winter coats. But the trouble with this landscape is that it's so undulating that every time we take a few steps, our perspective completely changes, and we can see into new valleys behind different rocks. So we just have to keep taking a few steps, stopping, scanning around, checking every single rock, because one of them will be a hare. I'm sure of it.
The actual best way to spot a hare, Ed, is to stop waffling and just get on with it. So that's what we did.
The hares could be anywhere, and we only had one day to get our shots. So doing this in slow motion gave us more time to spot them. I thought spotting white furry footballs on a hill would be a bit easier than this. Yeah, I've got one. Yeah, so it's just down from one of the bigger boulders.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Hey, our first one.
Yay! We got a hare!
Get a camera, I'll get a record shot, just so we can see it.
Nice. Look at that little guy.
Look how well tucked in it is. Look, the ear's laying flat against its back. Yeah, this is when it gets exciting.
Just gonna get closer.
Now that we've spotted this hare, it's all tucked away in the heather, and it's probably going to be like that for the next few hours. They don't tend to move much when it's this windy and this cold. They like to just hunker down. So as long as we don't disturb it, we should have plenty of time to try and get close.
This should be easy then. What could go wrong?
Hey, what? I thought it was about here. I've got a feeling we've gone too far. I think we've lost our bearings and it was actually further down and we've come up above it. I think when we saw it before, it was
So,
there.
I think when we saw it, this big strip of white was on the left. So I think it's tucked in somewhere up here, but it's just out of view because we're below it. I have no idea.
Right, you hold this a sec. I'm going to run back down and have a quick look. I'll leave my stuff. So while I backtracked down the hillside, Harry decided that this was a good time to do a piece to camera.
So what Ed isn't admitting is,
Harry!
he has a terrible sense of direction.
I found it!
What have you seen? You absolute tool.
So, see that rock there?
Yeah.
That's one in our photograph, and then you look over, I can just see the top of its head. We went way too high up.
How did we do that? I just did a piece to James saying you had a terrible sense of direction. The irony. Well, after failing at some fairly basic orienteering, we did manage to find the hare, and we managed to get fairly close to it as well. We started to approach it. We were full fieldcraft mode. We hunkered down and we crept along at eye level. Well, one thing's for sure, that thing can see us so well.
It hasn't moved an inch though, it seems so unbothered.
It hasn't budged. Why do you think that is? Do you think it's just cozy or?
Well, if it can help it, it doesn't want to move. It wants to conserve energy. It wants to just hunker down and stay warm.
I feel a bit like that as well.
Look at that. So pleased. I was using this, a telephoto lens, to punch in and get the detail. And you could see the fantastic adaptations of this hare. The tiny ears to release less heat, the thick coat. It was hunkered down, absolutely beautiful. It's Ed. Can I let you in on a little secret?
Cool.
I've never photographed mountain hares before.
Really?
Never.
I think Harry got some beautiful detailed shots, and I got some more contextual things with a slightly wider lens.
Now there is a lot of snow up at the top of these peaks, but there should also be lots of snow here on this heather.
Year on year, there are fewer and fewer days when the mountains are covered in snow, which is bad news for animals like mountain hares, which have winter and summer coats. So they still have their winter coat, which is bright white, while the landscape has changed to brown, which means they're far more obvious to any predators.
This is the warmest winter on record. It just leaves these hares exposed.
And this isn't just happening with hares, it's happening with any species that has two coats throughout the season, so ptarmigan are suffering the same fate.
A sad prospect indeed, but this was still a joyful encounter.
Happy?
Happy.
Let's leave this one now.
We left the hare in peace, and after being still for so long, we had to warm up.
Then both knees out like this to get that sort of energy. Plant your feet. You're activating all of these muscles, and then you right, left.
So, your hair portrait, are you pleased with this?
Yeah, I'm over the moon.
Yeah, you should be. That's fantastic.
We approached the hare and I was dubious because we were shooting right into the sort of bright sunlight. I thought it was going to be too much, but it wasn't. The hare's almost glowing. Look at that light.
Yeah, it looks amazing. Look at the whiskers as well, just catching that backlight.
Dark heather, a dark background as well, and the hair is perfectly separated.
Yeah, it really draws you in, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I was sat in pretty much exactly the same position as you, except with a different lens. And look, the image is completely different.
Completely different. It's lovely and contextual though. I love the sort of inclusion of the mountain there.
In the background, some light is hitting that faraway mountain, and in the foreground, some is hitting this up-close heather. So you end up with some warmer tones mixed in amongst all the cooler tones of the snow and the hare itself.
Yes.
But this was your first time photographing mountain hares, wasn't it?
It was my first grey hare.
How was it? How did you find it?
No, these animals are incredible. They're tiny, they're much smaller than I expected, but beautiful.
Fantastic. Well done. Congratulations on your first grey hair.
Thank you.
We spent the day looking for ptarmigan, which are these lovely little birds which are white through the winter.
Lovely little Scots pine. Hope you grow up to be big and strong.
They like to live at high altitude, so we went all the way up to the top of some of the peaks, and they also like to be sheltered, so we came down a bit further and searched through all the boulder fields.
We just walked and walked for miles in some of the strongest winds I've ever walked in. I think some of those gusts were about 67 miles an hour. And how many have we found?
None, Harry. We found none. Well done.
And I'm sure all of the wildlife was just tucked away in all of those nooks and crannies that we walked past.
It's easy to say that's just the way with wildlife photography, but also they're definitely up there. We saw signs, so really we just failed to find them. But we're quite lucky. We can leave now. We can go and warm up and have some food and get cozy again. Those poor little ptarmigan and the mountain hares, they're stuck up there. They can't leave. It's amazing how well suited they are to their environment and how unsuited we are.
On our final day in the mountains, we fueled up in anticipation of a tough day ahead.
Ready?
Unsure whether we'd see anything at all today, it was a massive relief when Ed immediately spotted something in the distance.
Okay, yes, right. Okay, do you see that clump of trees dead ahead of us?
In the distance?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, bang in the middle of those, come directly down.
Down the mountainside?
Just a bit, yeah, and then you see that ridge?
Yes.
Okay, just over that ridge.
Oh!
Yeah, some little white things.
Yeah! Reindeer!
Wow!
These are the Cairngorm reindeer herd. Free roaming, but not exactly wild.
Established in 1952, the herd stands as Britain's sole free-roaming reindeer population.
Wild reindeer roamed Scotland freely until their disappearance about 800 years ago due to hunting and habitat loss.
I was a bit dubious about photographing these reindeer, because part of the fun of wildlife photography for me and Harry is all the fieldcraft that goes into trying to get that photo and the chance that you might not get anything at all. I am now part of the herd. I have been accepted by my new family. But with these reindeer, they're pretty much guaranteed. They're so tame. They're a bit easier than the ptarmigan. Definitely easier to spot.
Ed, look at this. I got a reindeer in midair.
In midair? Oh, yes! That is superb.
Leaping over the puddle.
Oh, well done, buddy. That is awesome. That is so good.
The reindeer are well suited to their ancestors' Scottish homestead, with their thick fur, wide hooves for traction in snow, and specialised nasal structures that warm and humidify air before it reaches their lungs. Harry has these adaptations too.
It was quite frustrating because they had their heads firmly down, planted in the moss, and they were feeding on this lovely light green lichen. It was just slightly difficult to get one with its head and beautiful antlers up for a nice portrait. It's got a nice wide angle of one single reindeer on its own with its head actually up. It wasn't down munching away at the lichens. It had the lovely clouds, blue sky and a rainbow in the background. So this slightly wider perspective works absolutely perfectly with a large depth of field.
I thought we'd get bored. I thought we'd feel like this was too easy, like you're photographing in a zoo. But because they're all around you, it was actually quite challenging to figure out how to get an original, exciting and interesting composition. What's actually very cool is that although the weather is absolutely horrible for us, oh hello, I'm just trying to explain to the camera about my photos. Is that okay? Yeah? Okay, I'll do it while you're here. With this weather, we're also getting the occasional rainbow in that direction. So I'm trying to line it up so I can get these reindeer with the rainbow behind, because it just looks absolutely spectacular.
So as the wet weather front moved in and the rainbow moved out, we packed our things
It's horrible doing this when it's so cold. Your hands don't work properly. Go on there.
and said farewell to our new friends.
I wasn't expecting to enjoy that as much as I did, but they were absolutely lovely. Okay, it does slightly pain me to say this, but you definitely got the better photos of the reindeer. Look at that.
Yeah, I was really chuffed with this. I probably owe this to the fantastic weather conditions we had. It was weird, wasn't it?
Oh, bizarre. Yeah, all 4 seasons in one day.
Exactly. Sun behind us, filtered by the drizzle and the rain. So you had this rainbow, bright blue sky. Yeah. This is like a poster for the Highlands.
Oh, absolutely. And a gorgeous animal as well. Look, perfect antlers, a lovely beard. Like you say, this is a poster for Scotland and a poster for reindeer.
Absolutely, just stepping into frame, yeah.
And then if we look at what I ended up with...
Yeah, this one. this is different. I like this.
Different.
It's interesting.
Artistic.
It is. It's abstract. There's a bit of detail in there. I like what you've done with the colours in the background there.
But I know this won't be everyone's cup of tea, so let's not spend too much time on this one. But I love this one that you got as well, because you don't normally associate reindeer with being particularly dynamic. But then one does this.
This is the most agile animal in the herd.
Yeah?
Yeah, and I'm glad you like it. You see this bog down here? Yeah, I sacrificed a sock for this photo.
Absolutely worth it. Well done. No, you nailed those shots. Really good work, buddy.
Look, there. There's birds. Ah, snow bunting.
Where? Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, look, there's loads of them.
Wow.
I wonder why they're all there.